It's George Camel. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.
Again, Ramsey Show ending, not beginning. The after show is what's beginning. Again, Ramsey Show ending. And that double looping you hear there means that sound is working. Alrighty. Just put my links in the chat. Oh, I did not change the title. That's my bad. Yikes. Alright, what after show is it? Oh, goodness. Forgot to change. It is number 361. Alrighty. So here's how we do this. Open YouTube Studio. Content live. And there we go. This is not what it is, so I'm going to change it. Oh, goodness. Apologies. One moment. The Ramsey Show after show number, where is it? There we go, number 361, I believe it is. If not, I'll fix it later. 361, and we got 1 1, and I'll do that. 1/1/2023. Happy New Year. Okay. Alrighty, so that should change immediately, I think. I might have to refresh your page if you're watching live. There we go. Alright, that's better. My bad. Okay, so you can close that one. Alrighty. Oh, I was putting in my hello, Happy New Year. Put the links in, and we'll get going. Hope everyone's having a lovely New Year's Day, or had one if you're in Europe somewhere. Where it would be almost bedtime again. Alrighty, so sorry about the title thing. Alrighty, Happy New Year! Live from Cabot, Arkansas, it's the Ramsey Show After Show. Here we talk about the Ramsey Show YouTube chat, and the people in it, and all things financial and whatever else I want to talk about. You can do that when you have your own show. I'm your host, Coach Steve Money. I am a certified Ramsey Solutions financial coach. And if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation assessment with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. You can, that is a video conferencing appointment, so you can make that from anywhere in the wide world. You can email me about coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel, like Oak Island, like video gaming, a bunch of different things on there. Channel donations can go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney, or if you don't want to sign up for the PayPal, you can just send a Walmart gift card of any amount to CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com. Again, donations not expected, but of course always much appreciated. You can add me on the gram at Coach Steve Money. Of course, this YouTube channel is youtube.com/CoachSteveMoney. Alrighty, so how about some, instead of fixing things and promotion, how about some actual content? That is always approved. Alrighty, so today, the Ramsey Show replay for New Year's Day was hosted by, and I don't know if tomorrow is going to be a new show or not. There is another after show coming on the 3rd, so on Wednesday. I have to work tomorrow, but I am off Wednesday, so another after show Thursday, whether it's a new show or a replay, and also Monday, January 15th, which is Martin Luther King Day, and that will be another after show as well. So 3 after shows this month. Normally can only do 1 or 2. But today's Ramsey Show replay for New Year's Day was hosted by a lot of music in this without singing. Saving money now. He hosted the live YouTube show back in the day. King Coleman calls him George, Camel with a K. George hosted 3 podcasts. They didn't cost a cent, still don't. Ballroom, Future, Entree, Leadership, and the Fine Print. But now he's a co-host, Ramsey Personality, Smart Money Happy Hour. He hosts with RC. He'll tell you to sell your car. He'll tell you to sell your horse. And if you're a crypto bro, he'll tell you that, of course. Opened up YouTube, saw the thumbnail was camel. It's always fun with George on the panel. Ayo, Warrisos and Deloney, where's flannel? No one does it better than our guy George Camel. Saving money now. See, a lot of music, a lot of downtime. I guess just dance time. Well, George is a millionaire and a charismatic bloke. You can pre-order his first book, Breaking Free from Broke. He addresses the hard topics, even mention fire. Fixed income, retire early, but here's what drew the ire. 4% withdrawal rate was not what George advised. In fact, he said, do not do that. Call him mischaracterized. George is a hygiene homie, he's a tidy mammal. He's got his own YouTube channel called George Camel. Opened up YouTube, saw the thumbnail was camel. It's always fun with George on the panel. Ayo, Warrisos and Deloney, where's flannel? No one does it better than our guy George Camel. Saving money now. Paid his house off. Step 7. Got a Tesla. Supposed to sing there, I think. Lonely, where's flannel? No one does it better than our guy George Camel. Yep. Opened up YouTube, saw the thumbnail was camel. It's always fun with George on the panel. Ayo, Warrisos and Deloney, where's flannel? No one does it better than our guy George Camel. Saving money now. Yeah, missed it. one more. I think right here. Opened up. Nope. Nope. Oh, no more. Okay. Okay, great. Oh, I could have ended it a long time ago. Alrighty. Woo. Okay. Let's just make sure everybody's alive. We are. Okay. And so, co-hosting with him today and wearing flannel. Oh, we call him Dr. D, as you can see, but his parents named him John Deloney. Ooh, he's got 2 PhDs. 2 more than me, plus he's got some other certs. John Deloney, never gonna stop, gives advice, such a brilliant mind, he always sorts it out, has the clout of the healing kind. John, woo! John Deloney. Ooh, he takes a call and then twirls his pen, and he saves the day again. John Deloney, ooh, this dude has got some range. Season of change is what you're going through, says John Deloney. Is never gonna stop, gives advice, such a brilliant mind, he always sorts it out, has the clout of the healing kind. John, woo! John Deloney. John Deloney. It's in a bad key for me. A little high. And if I go to the lower octave, it doesn't sound that good. Music in this too. Oh, I said a brilliant mind, anxiety redefined, and put in a quick read by John Deloney. Well, the nowness has to face, they didn't place, but they probably still had fun with John Deloney. He's never gonna stop, gives advice, such a brilliant mind, he always sorts it out, has the clout on the healing kind. John, woo! John Deloney. John Deloney. John Deloney. John Deloney. John Deloney. Alrighty. Just one more. I should experiment with try to find a different key for that music. And the last song, which I'm sure you are happy about. Let's learn about the baby steps. What up? I don't have Aubrey. There's no Aubrey, unfortunately. Yeah. Bring back Obs. Yeah, I am trying to get her to record this song, as a matter of fact. But just like she was unfamiliar, as hard as that may be to believe with All I Want for Christmas, she is not aware of this song either. So, and that's really, really hard to, because these are so many lyrics and you have to sing them fast. And so even I have trouble with them, and I wrote the darn thing. So hopefully she will record this at some point. If you want to fix your finances, I know a guy can help you get debt free. If you didn't know, he has the show, and let me tell you, the advice is really great for you and me. Step 1, start an emergency fund, and it's time to pay off your debt. That's step 2, that you're beginning smallest lodges, you'll be winning, ain't seen nothing yet. You and me, day's plan we're ripping. Hey, look at us, we're baby stepping. This is the way, we're baby stepping. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7. We're baby stepping. 1,000 fund, pay off debt, full fund, invest, get college, pay off house, build wealth. We're baby stepping. Then you'll be in step 3, saving for emergencies, and that's financial peace. 3 to 6 months of expenses, you remain gazelle intensive, then there's this urgency. Step 4, investing, retirement needs addressing, save your kids a college gift. Before you know, you're step 6, paying off your residence, step 7, build wealth and give. You and me, day plan we're repping. Hey, look at us, we're baby stepping. This is the way, we're baby stepping. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7. We're baby stepping. 1,000 fund, pay off debt, full fund, invest, get college, pay off house, build wealth. We're baby stepping. If you pay cash instead of lease, then your wealth will be increased. You can have financial peace. If you pay cash instead of lease, and then your wealth will be increased. You can have financial peace. I said a name for every dollar, that's intention. What up, Natty Bags? Hashtag mention. Do the steps that go of apprehension. I said a name for every dollar, that's intention. What up, Natty Bags? Hashtag mention. Do the steps that go of apprehension. You and me, day fun we're repping. Hey, look at us, we're baby stepping. This is the way, we're baby stepping. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7. We're baby stepping. If you pay cash instead of lease, you can see your wealth increase. You can have financial peace. If you pay cash instead of lease, you can see your wealth increase. You can have financial peace. Last time, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7. We're baby stepping. 1,000 fund, pay off debt, full fund, invest, get college, pay off house, build wealth. We're baby stepping. Alrighty. Live. Oh, I already did all that. From Cabot, Arkansas. Again, this is Ramsey. No, the Ramsey Show after show. Do too many shows, too many streams. Alright, let's see what we got from Field Reporter Sydney. We have this that she found on, not really a news article, but something, I guess an article somebody else found, and she saw it on Reddit. According to Morningstar research, investors on average only earned about 6% per year over a 10-year period ending in 2022, compared to the 7.7% return generated by the funds and the ETFs they were invested in. All right, so as you can see, that is 1.7% difference. So the actual funds they were invested in made more money than they did, and the reason, the 1.7% shortfall, was mainly due to investors trying to time the buy and sell decision. And so that's what happens when you try to time the market. And so that's why Dave's advice is to not try to time the market. That means you buy, whether the market's up or down, you buy with every paycheck. 15% out of every paycheck is how you do that. And that way you're buying not only when the market is up, but when it's down and on sale as well. And so you never stop buying no matter what the fund does. And that way you get the extra 1.6%. So that's that. Market report. I will certainly let Obs know that she has fans, Non? Let's see. I talked a little bit about this on the on Ramsey Coach with Coach Steve Money, my show Saturday nights, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and a off day, down day for everything. Just barely for the Dow though on the last trading day, last Friday. And of course, there's no trading today. Let's see what the futures are at. Futures are down, of course, by the time the market opens in the morning. That could all change. But, oh, did it change already? Certainly did. Just from the time I originally brought up the page earlier when I was setting up the show till now. Now they're all up. How about that? So down a bit. But as you can see, in the last 5 days, up. Last month up, year to day up, year up, and of course 5 years up. There's your pandy crash right there. Then here's the inflation crash, recession crash, whatever you want to call this one. I don't know, but definitely ahead of schedule as far as being back. And I believe this did hit a new high. Because that is 4766, and now it's at 4769, even with the little bit of dropping on Friday. Oh, okay. So I guess the high would have been there, and then it went down from the high right there. Or maybe that's not on the graph yet. Maybe the down day right there. Maybe the graph is 1 day behind. I do not know. NASDAQ still has some to go on catching up back up to the high. Let's see, what was it? 16,057, and it's at the 15,011. So, but again, still ahead of schedule as far as recovering within the 5-year period from this. So it's got until November 19th, 2026 in order to completely recover and go to a new high. Alrighty, so no show and tell segments this week. I didn't remember to look for some myself, and nobody else submitted any. So if you'd like to submit anything for show and tell, send me a picture and a couple of lines about it, anything you want to share about it. And you can send that, of course, CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com. But the Ramsey advice, it's based on the baby steps. So the baby steps is based on the advice. He was teaching FPU, like an early version of FPU, for a good while. But then everybody kept asking him, well, what do I, of all the stuff you're telling me to do, what do I do first? What do I do first? And so that's when Dave developed the baby steps. And so just to go through them really quick, steps 1, 2, 3, you do in order separately. So that means you don't do all 1, 2, and 3 at the same time. Somebody in the Ramsey Show chat one time said they were doing all the steps at once. And that would be a nightmare. That keeps you from getting a step done and moving forward. So step 1, save $1,000 to start an emergency fund. It doesn't mean save more than that if you feel like it, or for whatever reason, it doesn't mean that. You save just $1,000. Everything you have else goes to debt. Pay off debt, except the house. all debt except the house, using debt snowball. And debt snowball means smallest to largest. So that doesn't mean, except if you want to pay it off a different way. I mean, granted, paying it off the different way is still better than not paying it off at all. But using the smallest to largest means you get early wins, and therefore the average human is more motivated by that rather than paying off some large high interest debt and it taking years to do that, possibly, to pay that first one off. Step 3, save 3 to 6 months of your personal expenses, and the number of months is up to you as well. If you have no job or life drama, 3 months is fine. If you are getting ready to buy a house, if you have a family, then maybe you want to go closer to the 6 months or right at 6 months. You do not save more than 6 months of expenses in your emergency fund until you would get past step 7, meaning you have paid a house off if you have a house. Okay, step 4, 5, and 6 you do in order, but all of them at the same time. So you still do them in order. So first you take 15% of gross of your household income into retirement. You invest that in retirement. If at all possible, in tax-advantaged retirement funds such as 401k or an IRA, which you open personally, and like a Roth IRA is what you would open personally. You can do a Roth IRA if your employer recommends that, and that is what Dave recommends, Roth over traditional. That way you are paying tax on the money on the contributions as they go in, but then you get the fun part of not having to pay taxes on the tremendous growth, at least here in the US. I don't know about the UK. UK has different rules for everything. More taxes too. Step 5, save for your kids' college fund if you have them, 1, and 2, if you want to help them. Some people decide not to help them. That's fine. But enough people, Dave thinks enough people would want to help them, or that they should. His opinion probably is they should. That's why that's a baby step. And step 6, pay off your house early. And then after that, you're on step 7, that's build wealth and give. Even in retirement, you would still invest. But then at that point, after you're on step 7 and the house is paid off, then you can have a 12-month emergency fund. That's fine. But only at that point. Otherwise, you got too much liquid cash laying around when you could be applying it to 4, 5, and 6 instead. Okay. So where did we leave off here? I've been going backwards since I'm doing so many streams in the 3-week period between Christmas and the 15th. Doing what was it, like 5 or 6 streams. Ramsey-ish, not Ramsey-ish, Ramsey-esque streams, rather Ramsey adjacent. So we say, gosh, maybe I do have dementia. RD 22, mortgage, savings account, and retirement. Oh, this is reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey. And this is run by fans, not by Ramsey Solutions. If you want a group that's run by Ramsey Solutions, that would be on the Facebook, and that would be called the Ramsey Baby Steps Community. If it is not called exactly that, then it is not the one run by Ramsey Solutions. Oh, this looks like this is War and Peace here. Oh, it's not that long. All right. Phrasing. Alrighty. Mortgage, savings account, and retirement. Hello, I'm looking for some advice. We are on baby step 4, and so that means they're on retirement. That means they have paid off all of their non-mortgage debt, and they have saved up a full emergency fund. And so they're on baby step 4, and that's investing. Husband, 46 and I, 39, purchased a house last year with a 30-year mortgage. That's bad, and so hopefully that was before they heard about Dave, because Dave recommends a 15-year mortgage. If you have to get a 30-year mortgage in order to afford it, guess what? That's too much house for you based on your income. Fixed interest rate of 4.25. We have $380 to pay down and make payments of $2,500 per month. We purchased a house last year, but we have $380 to pay down and make payments of $25. I guess it was, the loan amount was for $380. I don't know exactly. Our tenses are not correct here. Let's see if we can make heads or tails of what this person means. Let's see. Make payment $2,500. We have $15,000 in a high yield savings account with an interest rate of 4.4. Okay, so the interest rates here are not going to change the Dave answer. We both get the match for our retirement plans through our employers, 401k, TSP for him. That's military. And we have a Roth IRA with Vanguard. We have target funds for retirement dates. Don't recommend those because those get more. I mean, you're doing it early enough where I don't think it's going to be an issue for you to have to be less aggressive as it gets closer to your retirement. So not going to recommend those. Not sure what the rate of return is. It's less than what Dave recommends. We started saving for retirement later in life, right? A little bit later, but not as late as some of us. So I'm a bit anxious about how much we have. Maybe approximately at the 100,000 each. Okay. I am saving close to 15% of my income, but my husband is at 5. Why? We have 2 cars which are paid off. Great. All right. Main Famous, subscribe. Gracias. Main Famous, appreciate it. We could likely change our mortgage payments to pay it off in 15 to 20 years. Yes, that is the advice. From what I understand, it makes more financial sense not to make higher monthly payments since the high yield savings account has higher interest rate, although not by much. Yeah, it's going to end up being a net loss because it's 0.15% you're trying to do, and that is ridiculous. Trying to go through not following the steps for 0.15% interest. So by stretching out the mortgage, you're going to be ending up paying more mortgage on the house. Yeah, the mortgage. You'll be paying more on the mortgage. And so it likely is not even going to be a net positive at all. So, and that's why Dave recommends a 15-year. And so again, if it had to be a 30, then you can't afford it. But if you can afford what the payment would be, if it was a 15, you pay it off like a 15. And it doesn't make any sense to refinance now because the rates are higher. So you just pay it off like it's a 15. And that's from what you understand. And so that is the math. But once you do all the math, as far as subtracting the additional interest that you have to pay by keeping your mortgage around like it's a pet for many, many, many years, longer than you need to, then that's going to cost you more money. The IRA rate of return may be higher than 4.25%. I would hope so. But I mean, in target date funds, who knows? Those aren't aggressive. And so you sometimes aren't even making index money on that. My concern is that buying a house at our age. It says you purchased one last year. What is the new one for? To get a new one? we'd want to pay off the house. Oh, that buying a house at our age that we've already done, right? We want to pay off the house sooner than 30 years. Yes, of course. Otherwise, we work until we're old and prune it right, but also we need to be saving for retirement. But this is all new to me, and I'm trying to figure out the best financial moves to make. Any advice is appreciated. Yeah, the advice would be to follow the baby steps. If I can find it right there. To follow that, invest 15% of your household income. That means 15% of your income, 15% of your husband's, where he's only doing 5 as well, and 15% of spouse A and 15% of spouse B. When you add those together, that doesn't equal 30% of household income. That equals 15. 15% plus 15% of each spouse equals 15% of household income. And so a lot of people get confused on that. Back to the question. Let's see, anything else? So yeah, that would be, so you got to get him up to, you're doing 15. So you don't do close to 15, you do 15, but no more than 15. And the high yield savings account, that money, I would throw that at the house if you have because you should have a fully funded emergency fund. Other than that, unless this is your emergency fund, and then obviously keep it, but then that is not an investment. Rachel always says about the emergency fund, repeat after me, not an investment. So it's fine to have it in a high yield savings account if you have immediate access to it. Emergencies do not wait for a 1 to 3 day transfer period. So you gotta have debit card and or check writing privileges on a high yield savings account in order for it to house your emergency fund. So you can make a couple bags off the interest on that. But any extra so if this is extra, yeah, you put that on the house. Or you do some catch up for him on in retirement. You can still max out 2023 until tax day of 2024. You can still contribute to last year's tax advantaged retirement accounts. Boom, boom, ba-dum, boom, boom. So yeah, so you're doing it wrong. But to do it right, you would just have to start following these steps now. And which you're not delaying the house, because not paying off the house is the same thing as if the house was paid off, you taking out a mortgage on it in order to have the 15%, 15,000. So you take out a $15,000 loan on the house to make 0.15 more. And the average person, or I think most people, would not do that. Every once in a while you will get somebody that says, when Dave turns it around on him like that, and he says it's the same thing you're doing now, is if it was paid off, you're doing this, and it is the exact same thing. But a lot of people, some of them say they would do that. And so he says, well, you better borrow as much as you can on the house then, and invest it if you think that's the right thing to do. Alrighty. Sprucey 26, what would Dave do Flair? Whole life insurance. So the question is, what would Dave do Flair? Stamped right next to it, and the poster here, person that does the post, the OP, original poster, pick that Flair to put on it. So this is not done automatically. You pick that Flair or none. You can see how this one doesn't have any. And the answer for whole life insurance, don't even have to read the rest of it. The answer is no for whole life insurance. And the answer is yes to canceling it. But the thing you got to do, though, is you got to buy term life insurance first. You get term life insurance in place first, and then you cancel the whole life insurance. before people eat me alive, I know I made a poor financial decision, right? And when you make poor financial decisions, you correct it as soon as possible. You don't keep feeding. You don't put good money after bad, is the saying. So you don't keep feeding a bad financial decision just because you made it. So I would like to fix it and move forward. So you get term life insurance and then you cancel the whole life. And so none of this matters. None of these numbers matter. None of these numbers matter. What matters is, which, yeah, you take the cash value of it now when you're canceling it. So have I already gone too far? No, there's no too far that you can get, because even at the last minute, if you're still alive, you're still gonna be better off cashing out the value of it, getting the cash value of it, and not having that death benefit anymore, and you investing that cash benefit amount yourself. And so that's because, and this is why you don't do whole life insurance, because the investment inside of it is not only likely not as good as even the S&P 500 index would bring in, but in addition to it, when you die, you do not get the investment portion. The bank, the life insurance sales company, they get the investment. They pay out the death benefit, but your heirs don't get that investment. So if you buy term, which is cheaper, and you invest the difference into your own investment account, then guess what? Your heirs get to keep it. Or if you don't have any heirs, you can donate it to a worthy charity. So yes, dum. So don't get in the weeds of, I've done 55 minimum, I did this and this much total and this much percent and this much. No, you don't worry about any of that. You said you wanted to fix it. That's how to fix it. Add Remarkable 5481, quiet contributor. Need advice on selling my house. Hello, should we sell our house? Maybe. War and Peace here. All right. So a lot of people do, because they're too close to their situation. They don't realize that they put in a lot of information that is just not necessary to get their answer. Also, especially when they think that interest rates matter. They do not, as far as the baby steps. My husband and I have a combined household income of $156 before taxes. We bought our single-family home February 2023. That was a big. The price was already up by that time, and maybe you got an okay interest rate, maybe, but. It certainly went up after that, but it probably wasn't low. And you hate the house. Why'd you buy it then? What was wrong with it? It was more of a rash decision to move closer to our in-laws because I got pregnant. Yeah, you do not do rash decisions. Those are not advised for anything. No rash decisions. But, pregnancy does bring in the hormones, so I get it. But now that the baby's here, we only see family on Sundays. Yep. See, you get in your head the way you think things are going to be, and then they're not going to be. So anytime you move to a different area, you need to rent for a year because you may hate the city. So you don't want to buy a house and make it that much harder to leave that city. Let's see. We bought our house with the money we made off our first home that we built in 2020. Okay. We sold it so quickly because we had about $100,000 in equity. Great. Market was cray in 2021 through 2020. Maybe you mean 2022, or just doing it backwards by mistake. We had to pay capital gains taxes, right? So after closing costs, if you had bought a house soon after that, though, you spent it, So that's a like kind thing, real estate for real estate. And so some of that could have been written off. Let's see, our take home was about 70K then. So now they have a bigger income. Let's see, we paid off all our debt with the money. Great. And had enough for another down payment, which we used for our current home. Okay, great. What's the problem? Oh, other than you hating the house. Haven't lived in our home for even a year. You don't do, that's double negative there. And I'm having deep regret. Yep, rushed into it. I mean, you sell it and move. And get another house and probably get a cheaper house to make up for having made that mistake. And that's going to cost you a lot of money. We don't like our neighborhood and lack of storage space in our home. Well, so you see, what you're supposed to do is before you buy it, you're supposed to look at things that are important to you. And if storage space is important to you, then you need to look at it. And as far as the neighborhood, again, that's why you need to rent in an area for the first year you are there. And then you would have known you didn't like the neighborhood. Let's say our master bathroom is tiny and we hate the spit entry doorway. Okay, all of this is mortgage is high, $360 a month. We make $156 combined. You said that. Daycare next month, and that's $1,090. Yep. Little bit of debt moving into this house. Of course you did. And so that was dumb. Why did you do that? Why didn't you keep expenses down below what you got for the original house? Why did you do that? That was dumb. So now you're going to pay stupid tax. Things feel a bit tight, and we start to want to start living way below our means. Should have started doing that before you bought that house, the second house, and bought something. Let's see, we live in Utah and can easily run a nice townhome for way less. I really want to downsize, sell half our furniture to live in the 2-bedroom apartment, or I guess townhome. We can save so much money and afford daycare comfortably and pay off debt more quickly. Okay, what's the problem? I really want to sell our home, or should we rent it out? You don't become a landlord. You never thought of being a landlord for 1 second until you decided you wanted to move. So do not be a landlord. It is not for everybody. I don't care if I take a loss selling our home. Yeah, you probably will. I just want to wash our hands of it. You can do that. You may have a loss on it, and so home value is more than our loan. This I'm only getting from online estimators and comps in our area. That's possible. It could have gotten some equity there, and if you put a big down payment on it, you would have that equity in it as well. And so, yeah, you can get out of it. If you don't want to be there, definitely get out of it. It's going to come at a cost. And a realtor or just general math will tell you how much you will lose on it. But that's what we call stupid tax. And we have all paid it. Every single one of us at some point has done something stupid with too much money. Mountain Shenanigans, reading Ramsey's book, and he advised that all people over 60 absolutely must have long-term care insurance. Does anyone have any advice on good companies that offer it, as I have no idea or experiences where to begin? Fortunately, I am not over 60 yet, and so I have not at all investigated that at all. But Xander Insurance is who Dave uses and recommends. And so if they don't specifically do long-term care insurance themselves, I'm sure they would have a referral for you. All right, so sell my sports car or keep it deleted. 59 comments. It got too hot for this person. This person was saying, bleep. Not this user ID doesn't exist anymore. Baby step 3, flare. So probably yes. Debt free apart from mortgage. Okay, make good money, which leaves me approximate $1,000 per month to do what I like after all bills. I wouldn't say that just $1,000 every month extra is good money. I mean, it might be okay money. The problem is you're still in baby step 3. That's the problem. And so only $1,000 a month to do what you like. What you like should be to finish baby step 3. That's what you should like. Maybe he has included in bills and a budgeted amount to put under there, but that should be that $1,000 as well as whatever this person has budgeted there. I also have a nice Audi, which breaks down pretty much on a quarterly basis. I really like that car. I bought it cash, but it's annoying to keep on repairing it, I'm sure. I feel like I'm throwing money away every time I have to repair it. Throwing good money after bad again. This will be the throwing good money after bad episode. Truth is, this is to be expected of this car. 200 to 400 bills every quarter. That means dollars. I had to drop 900 recently for a new shock. One new shock absorber, or is that 2 shock absorbers that you replaced there? It almost feels like I have a car payment at this point. Yep. This is more of a personal choice or financial choice. It's both. It's always both. Finances affect personal. Personal affects finances. I'm stuck between I'm being silly with this car and, well, I like it. I either keep on paying for repairs and stop bitching or sell it. Yep. That's what you got to do. It's called being an adult, and you make that decision. If you don't like having to repair it every 3 months, then yeah, time to sell it and go bye-bye. And then guess what? Then step 3 might be done if you sell it. And then you can be on step 4, which going through the steps faster is always advised. Esterman, what would Dave do? Question, please see below. Husband 33 and myself 29 are currently working a somewhat revised version of the baby steps. So they're doing their own thing. So why do you care what Dave would do if you're doing your own thing? I don't get it. People always want validation or somebody to agree with them or something like that. Oh, but that's not why they're there for help. They don't have anyone to really lean on and feeling very conflicted about current situation. 138K pre-tax. Husband's on a very short list to receive a promotion with the company, but requires to move out of state. New salary would be 90K. Commission bonus 60 to 80K. Okay. I would obviously get a job, but I don't have a degree. So we'd probably find something similar to what I'm making now. Yes, 40, 45. But we know that would take a month to go. Okay. So that's together. And so that would, so it's going to be more money. So here's what we live in a low cost of area living now. We just bought our house about 15 months ago. Oh, about 376K. Yep. If we sold it, best we'd come out ahead would be 10K after paying realtor fees. Yep. Where we'd be moving would be still relatively low cost of living, but higher than we are now. So you got to include that. We would want to rent for a year. So smart, good job. Or so to find out exactly where we would want to live long term, or if you would not want to live there long term at all. Should we sell our home for pretty much a loss or try to rent it out? Again, landlording by default is not a good idea. If you never thought about being a landlord until the second that you thought about selling your house and moving, then the advice is not to be a landlord. I've looked, and after paying a property management company, we would break even. Yep. But they would at least be paying our mortgage and helping us grow equity in the home. Yeah, that's crap. Because guess what? HVAC goes out. You know who's paying for that? You. Roof starts leaking. You know who's paying for that? You. Do not be a landlord by default just because you are moving. Ever. I know some people believe that crap, oh no, don't ever sell real estate, it's too valuable. No. If you're moving, you're not going to be there, and so you can't even manage it yourself, and you have to pay somebody else, which makes you just break even. It's not going to be a break even deal because the only things that are guaranteed of breaking are things in the house, and you will have to pay for them. Alrighty. I got my loud plastic bottle here, and yes, this is tap water in the bottle. I don't do this now. I'm not an animal. I do have bottled water here for visitors and such, but I don't need that myself. There's nothing wrong with the tap water. Oh, seeking advice about paying off rental property. The answer is yes, because it shouldn't have been a mortgage anyway. Any business stuff needs to grow at the speed of cash, and that includes buying rental property. The only mortgage Dave will not yell at you for is one for a house that you live in. All right, wife and I are looking towards changing it. How our investments are struggling at the moment. We have a rental property that we're debating paying off with some money that's currently invested in U.S. equities. As long as that's not in a retirement account, that's great. Do that. That is advised. Mortgage, rental income. Property tax, yeah, man, do take a bite, doesn't it? So you gotta see. So you're doing about 3 months here, where that's just for the property tax. You see how easy it is to go into the red on rental property. You see this property management fee, $147 per month. So again, that's more money out of that. So, yep, that's how it goes. And that is another good reason to pay off rental property. Even if you want to keep it, you would do that. But maybe you pay it off and sell it, or pay it off by selling it. 30% equity in a property, so you would get that cash out if you sold it. And the cap rate is 3.67, although I think the rent will go up this year, so that might be slightly better, as we've kept the rate the same for the past 3 years. Yep, so probably time to raise it, but the stuff you're going to have to buy for the house is going to go up as well. No real expenses on the property, but we have our... Not yet. You've been lucky. Not yet. So just for $2,100 a month, less than that, because you got to pay the property tax and the property management fee and the interest on the mortgage. And so, you know, all that adds up, and all that takes away from it. So that's going to take that $2,100 down. And how much? So like just say you had enough things break in the house where it would take that down to $1,000 a month on the house. So $12,000 a year, but all of that money lost. That's more than half of your expenses on the house, are more than half of the rental income. That doesn't sound like a good deal to me. Let's see. Although I think the rent will go up this year, and that's even if only one thing a year breaks. One expensive thing. So that might be slightly better. Oh, I did that already. 6-month emergency fund sitting liquid in a money market account. Good. That's where it should be. 42% debt to income, all in real estate. Primary home is a lot of this, okay? Primary home is fine for a mortgage. The rest is not. Use the Dave Ramsey calculator, which may not even work if you have all your real estate in in mortgages, all your rentals, and we could put safely $54.50 a month towards principal and pay this off September 2026. What, that one? Well, the advice would be to pay off your residence first and sell any other like any rentals. You would sell rentals in order to pay off the house, the home. Also about $300K in total non-real estate, non-retirement savings. Pay off your freaking mortgage, and then pay off, if you want to keep them, the freaking rentals. This comprises of our 6-month savings, and the rest is in investments. Okay, well, the 6-month emergency fund is not part of any discussion about doing anything with it. I mean, I guess if you're going to consider yourself back in baby step 2 for the rental property, which probably Dave might be fine with that, then you would take it down to $1,000 and you would pay all that off. Let's see. My question is, should we liquidate? But instead, better would be to sell some of those rentals and keep the emergency fund intact. Should we liquidate our investments to pay this off? Yes, and rebuild our investment account. Or should we pay this off using our current free cash flow? Liquidate the investments and also sell as many rental properties as you have to in order to pay off your mortgage. After paying rental property, we had a free cash flow of $87.5K a year. Right? Unless stuff keeps breaking in the house. I mean, all of this depends on what the renters do in there. And what happens while the renters are in there, whether it's their fault or not. As far as a new roof or new appliances or anything like that. Now, I guess appliances would be on them. But not HVAC. So we'd be able to rebuild pretty snowball into paying for primary residence. How cute, he brings in the snowball. So you're not doing, again, Dave Ramsey's plan. But the advice would be to get debt free of all of it as soon as possible. And so if you have to, how many does he just have the one property? So definitely sell it then if it's just the one property. He only talks about the one property. So if that's just two houses that he has, his primary home, and then the rental property is not a secondary home, it's a rental property. And so again, should have been all cash for that. So doing it wrong, and so you could do it right, but not if you want to keep the rental property. But still, even not following the baby steps, getting it paid off, getting both of those paid off as quickly as you can would be good. That way it's less stress and less worry if something does happen to the house where you need to fix it. What would Dave do? Flair lost in the baby steps 4 through 7. Well, it's not 4 through 7. I don't think. Well, I guess he could be confused about what to do in step 7, maybe. But it's just build wealth and give. Let's see. Married, 31. Married at 29. We have one child, 2 years old. This many. And that will likely be the only one due to medical reasons. All right. Now everyone has a unique situation. Not really. I mean, to them, it's unique and special because it's their own. And often people can't see past their own situations. To whereas if the exact same thing was happening to somebody else, they would be able to look at it more dissociatively and be able to make a logical decision by it. But when it's your own situation, there's like emotions and stuff involved. You know how that works. Having some issues navigating the baby steps around baby step 4, baby step 7. Also, we live in Canada, if that makes any difference. Might. The general principles, it doesn't make any difference. No debt other than mortgage. All right. Household income, prox 175K. Also a business that we run that has done fairly decently in supplementing that, but are looking to end that venture and sell off assets due to the time commitment. Okay, that's fine too. Have approximately 75K in tax-free savings account that is entirely in VFV and ETF that follows the S&P. So that's must be a Vanguard one, I'm guessing. So it's S&P. If it's a tax-free savings, that must be a retirement account. So you wouldn't borrow from that. Also, about 70K in a pension plan from a previous employer. You wouldn't take that out. Entirely invested in BlackRock 2045. Getting broy here. Getting investment bro here. Wall Street bro. Wife has a sizable amount in a teacher's pension plan, but unsure how much at this time. Yeah, you got to be careful with the pensions because on the whole, they don't make as much as the market, and so you would count pension plans for the amount being contributed every month or every paycheck. You would count that for half. So if that amount that's being contributed would be 15%, then you would only count that for 7.5%, and you would have to do another investment. You could open a Roth IRA and put another 7.5% of gross income into that each year, month, or paycheck. I'm unsure about, okay, so expected profit 70K from the business we run, then bank another 75K selling off assets. I guess the question I have about time, where does this put us in terms of baby steps? We carry a bit of cash in our bank accounts, but probably not the 20 to 25K. That would probably constitute emergency fund. If you don't have an emergency fund, then you're in 3 at best. If you have other debt, did they say they only have no other debt than mortgage? Okay, great. So you're in baby step 3. So all of this other stuff that you're doing here, if you have any investments that aren't in retirement accounts, you would cash out enough of that in order to complete your emergency fund, and then get your investing at the right numbers, at the right amount to compensate for that pension, and then kid college. If you want to just start addressing that, 2 years old, it can only be just a little bit a month, and hopefully you will have that mortgage paid off by then, and then you can do more later on as it gets close to the time when the child would be going to college. Of course, Canada, I guess they may have some, like, it may be free there. Don't know. Let's see. I always thought if needed, I could just draw the money in the TFSA, not without penalties. Other concern is trying to complete baby step 6. Yeah. And you think about that instead of doing all other types of investing. And so you're all of the money that you make in the business and that you're gonna have as net profit after you sell the assets of it, all that should go to finishing your emergency fund, the full emergency fund, and then putting the rest on the house. Like I said, you can begin saving for kid college if you need any money for that. Yeah, 1.69%. So, of course, on the mortgage. So, of course, let's stretch that out forever instead of and keep investing. So, let's see. Even the cash account interest rate I can get 4. I understand that paying off your mortgage gives some peace of mind. Yep. But is it really advisable to leave this much on the table? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The advice is this exactly. The advice is this exactly, not to, oh, well, we'll just leave this since it's at a lower interest rate and we'll just invest more. That's not what the steps say. So your money, of course, you can do whatever you want, whatever you think is best, but you're asking the question. So, and you put the what would Dave do flair. And a lot of people might put what would Dave do flair without actually knowing ahead, because he said he's a bit new to Dave Ramsey. Generally, I like what he has to say. I'm just looking to apply his principles to our specific situations, and you are a bit lost. Yeah, that's because you're too close to your situation, and you don't understand how he could have the advice of, you said you understand that paying off your mortgage gives some peace of mind, but is it really advisable leaving this much on the table? So you don't get it. You don't get the part about the financial piece, about having a paid off mortgage rather than making a few more percentage points in interest. So, and what that's called is debt leverage. So again, that would be the same thing as you having a paid off house and then you take out equity in it. You get a home equity line of credit and then you invest that money. And so most people, when you turn it around on them, they say, no, if my house was paid off, I would do that. And not paying it off is doing the same thing. So you're not really lost, dog. And of course, you don't get, this is not a step 7 question at all. So it's just lost in baby steps 4 through 6. And so let's see how many, only 4 comments. So maybe I'll see if anybody, it's from 13 days ago. Maybe I'll take a look for this one. Let me write it now. I'll look for this one and see if he was given anywhere near that advice. Was it lost in baby steps? Alright. Oh, what time is it? Oh, done an hour and 16 already. Where does the time go when I'm running my mouth? It just goes away very quickly. Voss water. That's right. Anon likes the Voss bottled water, waiting for it to come on offer. On offer. We don't say that in the. I'm gonna Google that. On offer. Never heard of that until the number available. Okay. Huh. Well, it's in the Oxford Languages Dictionary, I guess. So, you know, but I've never heard of it. So on offer, available. So that just means available. So it's not even specific. Let me see if it has any other different definitions than that. Because if goods in a store on offer, they're being sold at a lower price than usual. Okay, so that is included there, but not in the Oxford definition. So could just be like more of an urban dictionary kind of thing where people have made it mean this, but it's not specifically it's not the King's English, love. Abject _advice 87572. Economic meltdown in 2024. Yeah, I've seen articles by people that think it's gonna go way down. Of course, the guy that wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad last November, so like 2 Novembers ago, he predicted that by May of 2023 that the market would be down 60%. 60%. Instead, it was up. S&P 500 was up, I think, 20 some. So, yeah. Let's see. There's going to be an everything bubble in 2024, and that it will bring the biggest crash in life. Claims an 86% crash in the S&P, right? 90% crash in NASDAQ, 96% crash in crypto. Well, good. I'm glad he's not leaving those guys out. Housing prices will drop 50%. Like if all the other stuff happens, that could happen. Otherwise, houses are going to stay the same. Which is one of your opinions of fear mongering, or is there something to it? People always think they're right about it, and I mean, basically, it's no different than like somebody that's into sports saying. Oh yeah, I think despite them being the worst team this year, I think the Panthers are gonna win the Super Bowl next year. And so then when next year happens, and if they win the Super Bowl, then that person can say, "I called it, dude. I called it," which doesn't matter because it doesn't get you anything unless you gamble on it, unless you put money on it. And gamble and bet it, which is not Ramsey recommended either. Bored Reddit man. Should I pay half of my car loan now, then use the money from the loan, pause into savings? What? No. No, because this one easily answered by the little per month I put this and this and I do this and I do this and I do this. It doesn't matter. You're doing it wrong. So you have a car loan, so that means step 2 is right here. Pay off all debt except the house using debt snowball. That means smallest to largest and include your car loan. It doesn't say save extra freaking money if you want to, only pay half of it. And then you won't have to. So you're trying to find ways to not do the stuff and try to game the system and stuff. 20K car loan for a 6-year loan for 20K. 6.34%. And are you including the freaking 6.34% rate you're paying by not paying it off? Are you taking that out of the equation there? Now you put all of your money except $1,000 on the car loan and then pay off any other debt you have rather than doing all of this other stupid stuff. If you'd like to do what Dave would recommend. If you want to do what you want to do, we didn't need to know about it. It doesn't need to be on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, in my opinion. But it's the internet. People can put whatever they want to on here. And I'm kind of grateful because it gives me a bunch of stuff to run my mouth about. Okay, underscore shallot, 9754. That's like an onion, isn't it? A shallot. PMI removal, have a 30-year mortgage. Doing it wrong. Should be 15. With Huntington Bank. I've used them before. Midwest. On a house that I bought 6 months ago. Been making extra principals payments. I'm on baby step 6. Great. And have reached 77.3% loan to value. I called Huntington to have PMI removed, and they said they would submit the request. And it could take a few weeks for them to make a decision. Yeah, that's normal. Normally, though, it doesn't necessarily take a few weeks. I mean, I can understand a couple of days. Maybe they were including the Christmas and New Year's bank holidays in there, and so maybe they were just, what you do often in any business is you under promise and over deliver. So if they say a few weeks and then it only takes 1 week, then they look like the hero there. Kind of worried because I didn't know there was any decision to be made. Am I overthinking this? Or yes, you are, as a confirmed overthinking. And I have recent, since I started playing Tomb Raider Legend, I've been streaming that and may do some more of that tonight after I get done with this and have dinner. There are 2 puzzles in there that I absolutely overthought. It had been long enough. It's a 2006 game, and it had been long enough since I played it that I didn't remember the solution to it. And And so I certainly overthought it and made it take a whole lot longer until I realized, oh, guess what, overthinker, you overthought this. And so I'm gonna, I probably might make those overthinking series for video games for myself or for anything else. Any kind of overthinking highlights at all on any of my streams or videos. I'm kind of worried because I didn't know overthinking, or is there some reason why I could be denied? The only reason is if something has come up where something else is applied to the loan or something like that, or you don't have enough in escrow to pay the interest, that kind of thing. Interest and insurance, if you don't have that. And so they got to check all of that and make sure you're at 80% loan to value, meaning you have 20% equity in it. So they just got to check all that stuff, I think. Generally it's not a problem, but in some loan companies automatically do that, but some of them you do have to ask. So you ask, you did your thing there by asking, and so that's pretty much all you can do. And wait the 2 weeks, and if you don't hear from them in 2 weeks, that's when you call and ask for a supervisor. I want to speak to your manager. And I did say reduced about that. Discounted, reduced. Is the the first time I went to the Walmart, I forgot to buy an avocado. The second time, I wanted to buy one, but I could not find one. And of course, being a man, I didn't want to ask anybody, but next time I'll go, I'll budget in more time, because I was kind of on a time crunch. So I didn't have time to spend looking for it. I mean, I know they're like green or whatever, or like have a little orange tint to them. Like, is there any particular place generally that they would be next to? Any other known vegetables or things like that they would be next to? Omnijam, they do have them. I know that from the website. Buying a house in cash in Ireland. Am I crazy? Let's see. Is that an Irish accent? What is this? Bigora. A bit of background. Started listening to Dave 4 years ago. His stance on debt just seems to make sense to me. It does indeed. Even in the Ireland. If I work and have to pay money towards a debt, I'm not working for myself. Exactly. I'm a 29-year-old software engineer. Excellent. And started investing about $9,000 per year 2 years ago into a managed fund. It is fun though. So investing is fun, which is making nice returns so far. Excellent. After tax, it works out to about 12% per year. The housing market is crazy in Ireland. I've always wanted to buy a property that I could do up and get to the way I liked it. That's the way it was, and that's the way we liked it. That's Dana Carvey's angry old man, grumpy old man. Although this is the low end for the price of derelict or vacant cottages. In Ireland, the government has a grant of up to $70,000 for refurbishment of derelict properties, as long as you live and rent them for the next 10 years. So you're stuck in it for 10 years. So anything where the government has to be the reason you're doing it, don't do that. Don't do that. I mean, if you're getting that type of property anyway, and you'll see if you want to live there for 10 years and you don't count on that grant, then sure, as long as you're not locked into that, staying there if you do sign up for it. So as long as you can like cancel if you move and just say, okay, I give up on the grant. Question is, am I crazy for wanting to buy a crappy house with all my money in a few years? Instead of getting a mortgage in a relatively new house, I would think so. I wouldn't want to live in a place that like is getting refurbishment because it's derelict, or move in a derelict one, because you don't know how much it's gonna cost either. I mean, they give you the estimate for amount, and then they charge you higher amount, and then you say, oh, wait a minute, it shouldn't be that much. What about the estimate for this amount? And they said, oh yeah, okay, so it's the estimate amount plus the amount we just charged you, so you got to pay both. So that's kind of like what it seems like sometimes. So yeah, we're missing something my friends who are moving to their first homes are getting that I'm not picking up. Well, if your friends jumped off of a bridge, would you jumped off of a bridge as well? So the problem with the average person is you cannot look at the average person as somebody that is doing something smart. You can't do that. Debt free and wondering what Dave says, wondering, since Dave says a mortgage is okay debt, am I being too scared? Yeah, probably. TOO, even in Ireland, I think. So, I mean, he doesn't say it's okay debt. There's no such thing as good debt, and he would never buy anything by taking out debt for it, not even a mortgage. He buys everything in cash. But he will not yell at you for taking out a mortgage on a house that you will live in. If it's a rental property, you have to pay cash for it. So he's fine, because the amount of people following his plan would be way infinitely lower if he was adamant about no mortgage debt. And the reason why the mortgage is different is, because you're paying rent anyway, and also 99.9% of the time the house is going to appreciate, meaning go up in value, which that's not what a car does. It just goes down in value. Are you being too scared? Maybe. I mean, it's especially when you've been debt free a long time. Like putting that much, having to owe that much to a bank, even though Dave won't yell at you for it, it's still, that's a big thing. That's a big decision. But yeah, I wouldn't do a derelict property for that, just because you want to try to cheap out and make it as cheap as possible, and because of this freaking grant. So yeah, I wouldn't do it. If you want to buy a house, save up what you need to buy a working house that is working and that looks the way you want it to already. And you just may need to save up a lot. It may take longer because you may have to save up a higher down payment. Alrighty, so still 13 days to go. So doing it backwards here, phrasing, is working out well, because even though I have after shows on Wednesday, January 3rd, and of course Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central Time, is Ramsey Coach with Coach Steve Money, where I also delve into these questions on Reddit. And another after show on the 15th, Martin Luther King Day. Looks like I'll have plenty of questions to go through. But I have used all the 1,000 questions they have on here at one time, all the 1,000 posts. They only allow 1,000. I have been at points where I've used that. Of course, that was when I was doing a after show every weekday. Yeah, buy a home or rent, let down payment grow. Again, that's going to depend. I'll talk about it later, but that's going to depend on the situation. If you're new to the area, you rent. If you want to buy a more expensive house and still fit in the Dave guidelines, you may have to save up a higher down payment than you're thinking about putting now. You also have to think about, if it's not 20% of it, then you're lower than the 80% loan to value ratio. then you would have to pay PMI as well, which is extra money a month, and that's not insurance for you. Private mortgage insurance, that's insurance if you don't pay the freaking mortgage. So yeah, but I'll save that one for next time, which would be on that would be on the 3rd in 2 days, 2 short days until the next after show. Alrighty. Oh, I forgot to show earlier, if you probably the John Deloney song was probably one of the worst I've done, even probably worse than the first rendition of it, which is nope, wrong one, music. Boom, right there, the original Baby Step song, which I did not do today. I did the Baby Steppin' song. But anyway, these Ramsey adjacent songs are in my music playlist, so you have interest in those. I would dare say, I mean, I'm not a singer. I would dare say, though, that every single one of them sounds better than the John Deloney song that I did today. Alrighty, let's do the plugs and we'll get out of here. Hour and a half is long enough for a show, isn't it? Coach Steve Money, my Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me at calendly.com / Coach Steve Money. Links in the chat, links in front of your face right here, and also in the video description below. That is a video conferencing appointment, so you can do that from anywhere in the world or other planets if they have internet that reaches. You can email me about coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Channel donations can go to paypal.me / Coach Steve Money. If you don't have a PayPal account and you don't want to sign up for it, you can just send me a Walmart gift card to CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com. And any amount, of course, any little bit is helpful and appreciated. None expected, though. I appreciate you just watching, absolutely. Add me on the gram, Coach Steve Money, excuse me. And of course, the YouTube channel is youtube.com / Coach Steve Money. Let's see. Grumpy feeling the New Year spirit. Not really that grumpy. Grumpy's already apologized for that. Am I really that grumpy? What year are we in? Fix your title. I fixed the title. You just need to refresh to see the right title. So like everybody else that has come in has seen the right title. Am I really that grumpy? I'm going to guess that's A9. Grumpy feeling the New Year spirit. Yep. I don't think I said that you were grumpy. No, I just said something that reminded me of. That's the way I was saying something like, and that's the way I liked it. And then that reminded me of the grumpy old man character that would say, you know, we'd like for texting. They said, in my day, we didn't have texting. You had to call somebody on the phone and they would talk for hours and you hated every minute of it. But that's the way it was, and that's the way we liked it. So yeah, that wasn't saying that you were grumpy. And yes, probably we'll hear more about that later. Did I finish that? Yes, I did. Okay, that's right. I was just checking the chat. And night to you, Anon, as well. Thank you for participating in the chat, as always. And thanks everybody else for watching. Tuesday nights, late nights, the new Curse of Oak Island Season 11. No Cap recaps go up. I'm doing retro no cap recaps of older episodes of Curse of Oak Island. I'm doing video game streamings. They are releasing in a few days, actually. I think like January 6th or something like that, they are releasing remastered versions of the first 3 Tomb Raider games. And so that got me excited about those. And so I started with the first game on Steam that you can play with a controller. Because although I played the games originally with a keyboard, I don't do that so well anymore. And so, I mean, I could probably learn it, but whatever. Anyway, I was trying to get out of here, and so I will get out of here. Again, Happy New Year to everyone all over the world and other galaxies. If you get this in other reaches of space in like 20, 30 years, hey, shout out to you. Shout out to Andromeda Galaxy. Shout out. Alrighty. And at that point, it will be too late to donate unless, I mean, maybe my grandchildren will be able to still access my email address and get that Walmart gift card, because certainly Walmart will still be around. And maybe they'll have access to my PayPal as well. Maybe PayPal will still be around. Alrighty. Enough babbling. I do like to talk, as you all know. Alrighty. So again, I will see you. Probably actually later tonight I'll be streaming some more Tomb Raider Legend, which is that game that I was saying that I'm playing. I'll probably be streaming some more of that tonight. But other than that, as far as Ramsey stuff, I'll be in the chat tomorrow from work, and as I can, just chatting a little bit. And on Wednesday, January 3rd, will be the next Ramsey Show Aftershow show. Alrighty. Make smart financial decisions every day.